Hello, everybody, and good evening. Davis Cataldo coming at you once again on a nice, cold, wintry New Year's Eve evening. And before I get started, I just want to say my prayers go out in hopes for a better year to come for all those who were struck by that horrible fire over in Colorado, in Louisville and Superior area. Um, Horrible thing. I just could not believe what was happening. When I first thought it, I thought it was up in Michigan area, Superior. But that aside, yeah, this shows you Mother Nature. She can be pretty bad sometimes. You know, but my hopes and prayers go out to y'all, to anybody who's watching this who was affected by that, and whether you're affected greatly or a little. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, no one, absolutely no one, deserves to lose their home. I know I would. I can't imagine what they're going through, and I hope I never go through something like that. But I do know that if I lost my home, I would be devastated. So, but anyway, here's to a better year in 2022. But anyway, tonight I'm gonna go through stuff that I discovered this year, thanks to a bunch of people on YouTube and YouTube Music. Shout out goes to both, And before I get started, please like and subscribe, especially subscribe. Give me a New Year's Eve gift, present, whatever. Leave a comment down below. Leave a listing of what new music you discovered this year, whether it be old or new, whatever. And click that notification bell so you don't miss an episode. But anyway, also, before I get started on that, I want to give a shout out to quite a few people who I've watched and listened to, who helped expand my rock and roll musical horizons. Meadowland, Pete at Sea Tranquility, Pete, all his friends, Butch, why is it every time you try to think of people's names, Sydney, Steve, Nick, what is her name? I'm so sorry. Lynn, yeah, Lynn. Ryan, everybody that's been on there, thank you. You guys are great. Nime the Prog Nerd, you're fantastic. Bryce Talks Metal, Brendan Schneider, the Contrarians, Martin Popoff and his partners, Trailer Music World, the best dream I had, Rarest Records, classic album review, Ruthless Metal, Doug Helverine, Kira's a reactor, and Kira was a diver. She's got 2 channels. Epic Music, Sound of Storm, 666, Mr. Doom, Epic Music World, Sleeping at Last. Yeah, Sleeping at Last. HD Soundy. I hope I pronounced that right. Terminal Passage, South Side of the Sky, Notes Reviews, and vinyl records. You guys are all of you fantastic. But yeah, here's to a great 2022 to everybody. And anyway, not shouldn't be too long tonight. I'm just going to go over some of the bands and individual I discovered this year, thanks to these people. But tonight I'm going to pick up some music at Entertain Mart. That's our local store. Don't have very, too many music stores around. But anyway, got John Barleycorn Must Die by Traffic. Fantastic album. Steve Winwood singing this group. Highway to Hell by AC/DC. We got this on vinyl, but I didn't have it on. I don't have it on CD, so I picked it up. Couldn't pass. I think I paid $7 for that. Couldn't pass that price up. You know, especially it was in great condition, fantastic condition. I mean, look at that. Whoop. Ooh. Got a little booklet in here. I'll pull that out. In fact, I think this is brand new. It looked brand new, but for some reason it had to use price on it. So I don't know. But here's the booklet. There's Angus being Angus. I have to wait to check this out. I haven't read of any of the stuff in here yet. I just got it maybe like, I don't know, 3-4 hours ago. Stopped there on the way back from work. Back cover. But one of my all-time favorite bands, AC/DC. And too bad Bon and Malcolm are no longer with us. But they're rocking up in heaven. Oh, yeah. Anyway, the other one I got, another Leaves Eyes. First CD I've got from these guys. Heard a lot on YouTube Music. Kind of, oh, for heck's sakes, can't get these things out. Don't you hate that? But anyway, I've heard quite a few albums by these guys, and they're what I call, well, they're, you know, it's prog metal, classical metal. Well, you know, kind of in a genre, the Man of War kind of type of area. Ooh, she looks mean. Always was into these kind of or Scandinavian type music. I think these guys are Scandinavian. I could be wrong. There's the band right there. It's run by Alina Surella on vocals, Alexander Kroll on vocals, Thorsten Bauer, guitar and bass, Pete. If I pronounce these names, apologies. If I mispronounce them. Pete Straight, guitar, and Horace I'm sorry, I cannot pronounce. Apologies, I cannot pronounce that last name. And I'm part Scandinavian. Shame on me. But I haven't had a chance to listen to the whole thing. I don't know when this came out. Let's see. 2018. Okay. But I've listened to the first three songs on here. A Sign of the Dragonhead, Across the Sea, and part of Like a Mountain. Fantastic music. Definitely want to get this. One thing I found interesting is when I had it up and playing, it was saying the songs were instrumentals, no vocals. So I don't know if that was, I think that was a goof on music information, wherever the computer gets that information from. So I don't know, but great three finds. In fact, this traffic one, I didn't bring. Not very much in there. The Steve Winwood and the guys. It doesn't say. Oh, Steve Winwood on organ, piano, percussion. Chris Wood on sax, flute, electric sax, percussion. Jim Capaldi, drums, percussion. On the first one. Let's see. Yeah. I think there was just the three of them. But anyway, fantastic album. I wasn't much into, back when I was younger, I never knew who Traffic was. Yeah, shame on me. Now that I'm older, I'm discovering all these neat bands, thanks to the people I mentioned. I mean, it's great. I'm always one for expanding your musical horizons. I mean, for years, I went with just bands like Priest. I love all these bands though. Don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. Priest and Yes, ELO, Pink Floyd, Megadeth, stuff like that. Metallica. But at the same, while I'm stuck in this rut, with all just this small group of fantastic bands, there's all these other fantastic bands out there waiting to be discovered. And thanks to YouTube Music and YouTube and Pete and Nave and Bryce and all these other places, it's just there's so much music to listen to. I mean, it's fantastic. Oh, what did I discover this year? Windrose, Italian metal band. Their music is in the Lord of the Rings kind of realm, knights and wizards and stuff. Definitely check them out. fact, I'm going to be going backwards here from Z to A. I was going to do it from A to Z, but let's do different. Wishbone Ash, fantastic band from started out in the 70s. Warren Zevon. I wasn't into Warren Zevon very much back in the day, but check his stuff out. I mean, he's got some great stuff. I mean, I started, I went on YouTube Music and started with his older stuff and moved all around right up to his last one. In fact, I've got his last album. It's fantastic. War Kings, another fantastic warrior metal. Voivod, prog thrash metal band. They started out as just a pure thrash metal, but they're more prog, though they keep that thrash edge. Fantastic. Vandenplas, another great prog metal band. Vandergraaf Generator got into them this year. Fantastic. Let's see here. Two Steps from Hell. Now, a lot of people would hear that name and say, well, they've got to be a black metal or dark metal band. It is symphonic music, classical music with an edge. Fantastic. It's got some of it's got lyrics, but the majority is instrumental, but still inspiring music. It was fantastic. Of course, Traffic. I'm sorry. Toto, I've been listening to some of them. Wasn't a big fan back in the day, but checking out what they've got more recent. Tom Bergenson, he's a mastermind behind Two Steps from Hell. The music he does is just fantastic. Check him out. I mean, I love metal, heavy metal, dark metal, black metal. This stuff, I mean, it just, it's indescribable. It gives chills. I mean, let's see here. Let me go in here. He's put out 4 albums recently. Last two last year and 2 so far this year. Well, or 2 2 this year. This is the last day. It's called Humanity. Chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4. I've listened to some of 1. Haven't listened to 2 and 3 yet, but I've listened to 4. Oh, it's awesome. I mean, just if you want to get inspired, this is the music. I mean, there's the album Sun. It's called Sun. Fantastic. There's a song there called Empire of Angels. Oh, check it out. I mean, it's awesome. But anyway, moving right along here. Thin Lizzy. Been listening to them. Thanks to Butch Jones on Sea of Tranquility. But Hudson Valley Squares that goes on almost every Monday night. He's a big fan of Thin Lizzy, and he got me into it. So great band. Now this band I haven't listened to too much yet. The Screamin' Cheetah Wheelies. There's a mouthful for you. strange music. I mean, it's kind of, what would I put it in? It's rock and roll, but it's kind of a free-for-all rock. I mean, check it out. It's very interesting. Let's see. Listen to the Nice. Keith Emerson's. No, it was his first band, but it's the one that he was in right before he went to Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Check them out. Been listening to Little Misfits. Wasn't a big fan, but interesting music. Again, expand your musical horizons. If you end up not liking it, at least you tried. The Kinks, been checking them out. Now this band, I discovered a few years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, called the Kelly Family. Great group of kids. Of course, they're all grown up now, but definitely check them out. They're really not a rock. You couldn't really put them into a rock and roll genre, but they do play kind of a rock and roll edge. There is a little bit of country flavor there. They have done country, a little bit of country, but not heavily. But definitely check them out. Got into Guess Who, Flower Kings, another fantastic rock band. Even started listening to the Beatles. Not really a fan of their really early stuff, but from Rubber Soul on down, yeah. Amboy Dukes, Ted Nugent's first band. Testament, love Testament. But getting to them pretty heavy. I heard about them before. I just didn't really get interested until I heard Pete and them talking about them. 10 years after, fantastic. Tangerine Dream. I haven't heard too much about them, or too much from them. Excuse me. Ate some peanuts. Kind of I don't know how I'd describe them. Really, but interesting music, kind of in the symphonic rock type genre. And I believe they've done some soundtracks. I might be wrong there, but anyway, check them out. Sweet Clarity, another great band. Metal band or hard rock, whatever. Been listening to Stephen Wilson, good stuff there. Let's see, Starlight Ritual. They've put out one album so far, fantastic. Kind of proggy metal sound. Definitely check them out. Star One, fantastic. Been checked out a lot of Spock's Beard. Kind of in the King Crimson genre, or King Crimson type music. But definitely great band. Soft Machine. I've heard some music from them before. Haven't had a chance really to check out their entire discography yet, so. Slade, got into them this year. Skullfist, Bryce. Definite thank you right there. Let's see here. Sinner, fantastic hard rock metal band. Let's see. Serenity, another fantastic symphonic metal. Saxon, great metal band. Savory Brown, they're a blues type rock, but definitely got some great stuff there. Sabaton, I've heard quite a bit of theirs, not everything yet. Just a lot of music here to listen to. Find the time to do it sometimes. But Sabaton, great, fantastic metal music inspired by actual historical events. Running Wild. They started as a dark or black metal and went to pirate-themed heavy metal. Remohoy, in the vein of Hailstorm. What I've heard so far has been great. Robin Trower, I've been listening, checking him out. Rival Sons. Shout out to Butch Jones and Pete Parle and them. Bishop Butch Jones. Fantastic band. Hard rock. Hard rock, heavy metal genre. Renaissance. Classical flavored metal, rock. They're not metal. They're rock, symphonic rock, prog rock, whatever. Let's see. Primal Fear, metal at its finest. Ralph Sheepers, their lead singer. He got offered this is what I've heard. I don't know how true it is, but he got offered the lead singing job for Judas Priest when Rob Halford left, and he turned it down. I think if he would have taken that job, he would have fit right in. Check them out. Praying Mantis, fantastic prog metal band, or prog rock, I would say, prog rock. Check them out. Porcupine Tree, great rock band. From what I've read and what I've heard, Porcupine Tree started as a band that really didn't exist for quite a while. I can't remember the details. It was something Stephen Wilson wanted to do, experiment with, and it ended up being an actual rock band. They put out some great albums, great music, and they're going to be putting out a new album here, I guess this coming year. So can hardly wait to hear that. Let's see. Been checking out Peter Gabriel. Fantastic man. He can write some good stuff. I mean, it's too bad he left Genesis. But, hey, life goes on. Been checking out Paul McCartney. Was never a big fan, but he's got some good music. Let's see. Overdrive. I've only heard him once. They've only got one album out. Let's see here. Oh, no, I'm wrong. I'm thinking about somebody else. They've got quite a few. Kind of a heavy metal, hard rock genre, but definitely worth a listen. Let's see here. There you go, back to where I was. Let's see. Omen. I did a ranking the albums of Omen. Fantastic band. Nectar. Early 60s, early 70s band. Prog rock, again at its finest. Let's see. Morte Macabre. Interesting band. dark, gloomy rock. Definitely must have for Halloween. Metal Church, gone up to them. Too bad their singer, what was his name? Can't remember. Mike Howe, I think, passed away recently. It's too bad. I mean, from what I understand, they were going to put out a new album. Might be wrong on that one, but people are, it's lost a lot of people this year. Let's see, Medieval Steel, another good group. Check them out. Proggy medieval metal style. MC5. Listen to some of their stuff. Fantastic early rock. Late 60s, early 70s. From what I understand, the only band that started out their discography with a live album. Let's see. Manila Road. Fantastic hard rock, heavy metal. I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, I think they started out in the 80s. But anyway, definitely check them out. Manfred Band, checking his stuff out. They're again a classic example of when you hear only one or two songs from somebody or a group, and that song rubs you raw after a while, and you don't want to listen to anything else. He's got a lot of interesting stuff. I haven't heard a lot of his stuff yet. I've just started listening to it, and it's, Blinded by the Light. There's more to him than just that. So definitely check him out. Let's see, Magnum, another band that Pete Pardo and them got me into. Hard rock, metal flavored, progressive. Liege Lord, fantastic metal right there. Then put out a lot of albums. I don't think they're around anymore, but definitely check them out. Leprous. I think they're definitely Scandinavian. I think they made Norwegian, Swedish, there somewhere around there. But in the vein of Tool. Now, I don't really like Tool. I've listened to Tool's stuff. It just doesn't do anything for me. Leprous is kind of in that vein, that musical style, but with more of a more light than dark. Can I put it that way? But definitely check them out. I think my favorite album from there is their album Coal. First one I heard from them, don't get me wrong, the other ones were great, but Coal, I love that album. Definitely check them out. Let's see. King's X. Great band, great hard rock. Haven't heard very much from them, but what I've heard is just fantastic. Definitely check them out. Now, here's a band that's, what I can say is all over the place in their musical style. I mean, you get bits of country, you get bits of heavy metal, you get bits of rock, progressive rock, pop rock, maybe a little bit of death metal here and there. King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. And from what I understand, that name came out of couple of guys in the group. One wanted to call the Lizard group the Lizard King, and other guy wanted to call him Wizard or something. So they compromised and came up with King Gizzard and Lizard Wizard. So again, great group of guys. Interesting music. Good music, but interesting. So definitely check them out. King Crimson. I was always curious about them. After listening to Pete and them talk about King Crimson, I decided that, well, I'm going to definitely check them out. And guess what? I'm just one album away. Their most current album, I think they put out in early 2000s. I can't remember what it's called, but anyway, I'm just one album away from getting the entire discography. Studio discography. I mean, there's a lot more out there but right now I'm just trying to get the studio discographies of these bands. You know, I'll get the live stuff and whatever else later, but what can I say about King Crimson? In fact, King Gizzard and Lizard Wizard, same type of area, same type of music. You know, it's experimental. I mean, Robert Fripp, he was not scared. He's still not scared of trying different things. And that's what makes King Crimson special. So definitely give him a try. Kaipa. I think they're a Danish band. Apologies if they're not, you know. But again, prog rock, more rock than, you know, kind of hard rock, but here and there. But the earlier stuff was sang in their native tongue. Let's see. No, there's no. But yeah, but their first 5 albums, I believe. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, first 5 albums was sung in their native tongue, and everything since then has been sung in English. But still, the earlier stuff is still great. May not understand it, but you know, hey, it's still good stuff. So definitely check them out. Okay, moving right along here. Iron Butterfly. Haven't heard very much other than Indigo God of heck, I haven't heard that. Indigo God of Vida. Yeah, which from what I understand, was supposed to be in the Garden of Eden, and the lead singer couldn't pronounce it. He was drunk or something, and that's what it came out as. So who knows? Haven't heard too much from them, but still a great group. Late 60s, early 70s. Check them out. IQ. In the area of, you know, Spock's Beard. Fantastic band, great music. Yeah. Spock's Beard, King Crimson type, hard rock, but definitely check them out. Now, Indigo Raven. I found that on 666 Mr. Doom. Fantastic group. I mean, definitely worth a listen. So Indigo Raven. kind of a doomy metal, dark metal, but definitely worth listening. Got an Iced Earth this year. Oh, I've heard of them. I'd heard of them before, but there again, I was kind of hesitant. Fantastic group. Great heavy metal. Humble Pie. Been checking them out. Peter Frampton's where he started out. He started out with Humble Pie. Too bad he didn't stay with him. But it would have been interesting to see what would have came if he'd stayed with him. Let's see, Helstar, another great metal band. Probably in the genre of Candlemass, meets Judas Priest. Head East, been checking them out. 70s band. We're around. I think they're still around doing tours, but they haven't done very many albums. Hawkwind. What can I say about Hawkwind? They just keep putting out albums. I mean, if you want space rock, well, this is the band to get. This is the band to listen to. They do space rock like no other. Haken, another progressive metal band. Kind of in the area of Leprous, but more metal flavored hard rock. Then they check out Greta Van Fleet. Only heard a little bit from them. Great group of kids. Green Slade, another heavy prog. If you like heavy prog, Green Slade's for you. Green Lung. Green Lung is fantastic. You want dark, doomy, heavy metal. Their current, their previous album, Woodland Rights. I've only heard that a couple times, but it's fantastic. Their recent album, I think they put out the 1st of November, Black Harvest. Fantastic. I mean, more I listen to that, the more I fall in love with it. I have to force myself not to listen to it. I'm afraid if I listen to it too much, I won't like it anymore. But I just can't, there's those albums out there, those bands that they put out an album and it just clicks. I mean, no matter how many times you listen to it, you don't get sick of it. I mean, look, the Moody Blues, Days of Future Past. I love that album. I can never get sick of it. Just in the same area. I mean, just definitely check out Green Lung. I told my mom that name. She goes, "What's that?" And I go, "Green Lung." So, "Oh, that sounds great." I told her, "Yeah, it is. It's fantastic." But check them out. I mean, Black Harvest. It's awesome. I mean, just starts out doomy. I mean, this singer singing this, I think it's the harrowing. Come to the hill for the harrowing, when the leaves begin to fall. Oh, it just sends chills up your spine, and then bam, goes in, and you just drives metal right into you. I mean, check them out. Grand Funk Railroad. Again, another band. Only knew a few songs, the stuff they play on the radio. Late 60s, early 70s. Been listening to them. Fantastic group. There's more to them than the Locomotion or We're an American Band. Way more. Grail Knights. I think they're another Scandinavian band. Fantastic group. Haven't heard too much from them yet, but what I've heard is very impressive. Ghost, been listening to them. quite a bit. Great. Gentle Giant, fantastic prog rock. Gary Wright, been checking him out. Again, right there, only knew Dreamweaver, but he's got a lot of good stuff. Let's see. Fortress. Check them out. Fantastic hard rock, heavy metal group. I think they've only got one album out. I can't remember for sure, but definitely check them out. Let's see here. Firefall. Good rock and roll band. Not really heavy, not really light. They're more light than heavy, but still a fantastic group. Again, I only knew a few songs that were played on the radio, but there's way more to them than that. Been checking out a lot of Fairport Convention stuff. Fantastic group. Exodus. Haven't really listened to too much from them yet, but what I've heard, I like. Let's see. Ellesmere, French group. I think they've only got a few albums out. I can't remember if it's early 70s, but anyway, definitely a definite listen there. Prog rock. Echelon, whatever. Prog rock, hard rock at its finest. Or Earth and Fire, another early prog rock. Let's see. Coliseum, another early rock and roll group. Fantastic. Their live albums, fantastic, from the early 70s. Definitely check them out. Gareth Ungle, did a ranking the albums with them. Fantastic heavy metal group. Interesting singer. A lot of people don't like him. I think it's a unique voice. It gives their group a uniqueness. But definitely check them out. Let's see. Celtic Frost. Been checking them out. Black metal at its finest. It's too bad they didn't put out more music. But if you like black metal, Celtic Frost for you. Let's see. Captain Beyond. Great rock and roll. It was first two albums, Rod Evans, that started out with Deep Purple, sang on them before he left and disappeared. Great, but great rock and roll in the Deep Purple, class. Candlemass. More black metal at its finest. Has that doomy edge. It just, I was watching the volcano up in Iceland going off one night, and I just turned it on, and I turned on Candlemass, Born in a Tank, and the music started playing, and then the lava started coming up out of the volcano and overflowing, and it just went right with the music. Sent chills down my spine. Awesome. I'm like, wow. There's those moments in our lives that just are so awesome. We never forget them. And that was one for me. Let's see. Brothers of Metal. Haven't heard too much from them, but what I've heard's impressive. Metal. Again, at its finest. Blue Cheer. Good early rock and roll band. Probably a lot of people put them in the early heavy metal genre. Blood, Sweat, and Tears. in the genre of Chicago. Great band. Let's see, moving right along here. Beggar's Opera. This is Pete was talking about one of their albums as a great stocking stuffer. What I've heard is very impressive. Great early prog rock at its finest. Let me check it out. Barclay James Harvest, great early rock and roll group. They put some. I think they continued on to the 80s, maybe later. Can't remember for sure, but definitely check them out, especially the early stuff. Arion. Discovered them earlier this year. It's more of a man, the group. He writes the music and has guests come in and play this music. Fantastic music. If you like prog, if you like concept albums, this is the group. This is for you. Arion, Axis, great hard rock, heavy metal. Fell in love with them immediately. I mean, I can already get all their albums, man. I haven't got any yet, but I think I've heard just about all of them. All of them are winners, from the earlier stuff to the most recent stuff. Let's see, Atomic Rooster. Haven't heard too much from them, but what I've heard has been great. Armored Saint, fantastic metal band. They've recently put out an album. Fantastic. Let's see, Arena, another prog rock, heavy hard rock band. Fantastic. Anvil, rock and roll, hard rock at its finest. Angel Witch, another doomy, hard rock, heavy metal. Amandul 2, prog rock, finest. Ambush, another heavy metal. Let's see. Been listening to a lot of Al Stewart recently. He could write some good music. I mean, another one of those stories where I've only heard Time Passages and The Year of the Cat. More to him than just those two songs. And God, I listen to these guys and I'm like, wow, why didn't I give them a chance? Of course, when I was a kid, the way you could hear their music was either on the radio or if you bought their albums. And, a lot of the time you didn't want to buy the album for fear that you wouldn't like it and you'd be out, whatever, $8, $9, $10, whatever. But yeah, that's about it. Yeah. A lot of great groups. A lot of albums that were put out this year by Dream Theater, Yes, Iron Maiden. I've heard those albums. I haven't heard them enough to give a good opinion of them yet. Though right now it's pretty favorable. The Yes album is, I think it's a little bit, a lot better than the previous one. Though I do like Heaven and Earth. It just comes off as they weren't too sure what they wanted to do. They're going back to their classic era with the sound and the lyrics, but it's like they were unsure. But I'm glad they put it out before Chris died. A lot of people think that they should have stopped when Chris passed away. And when you really look at it, there are no original members uh, no original members left in the band. Steve Howe, he's the oldest member left. He didn't join them until they were done with the second album, Time of the Word. He appears on the album cover, but he didn't play on any of the songs, from what I know, from what I hear. Peter Banks played the guitar on that, and he was dissatisfied with the music, the orchestrations, and he didn't want to do that, so he left, and they brought in Steve. So, but with Heaven and Earth and this recent one, I can't think of the name, but anyway, they're trying to get back to their mid-70s sound. I went and seen him in concert probably about 6-7 years ago, a couple of years before Chris passed away. And they were not doing any of the stuff from 90125 or the 80s, any of the stuff they put out in the 80s. It was 70s music only. In fact, my sister, I think she was kind of disappointed in that because she kept asking me, do you want to stay? You sure you want to stay? And I'm like, are you kidding me? You invite me to go to Yes, and then you're asking me, do I want to stay? It was the first time I'd ever seen Yes in concert, live. I'd seen them in video, Yes songs and stuff, but I'd never seen them live in concert. And I loved it. John Davidson, I was impressed. I still am. I mean, he's the closest you can come to John Anderson without being John Anderson. Don't get me wrong, I love John Anderson. I mean, he'll always be a yes man, but he chose a different path, and we got what we got. So, but yeah, any of these bands, just check them that I named off. Check them out. I'm still discovering new ones. I'm looking forward to this new year. See what more I can add to my list here. But yeah. But anyway, have a happy new year. This Monday, I haven't got anything decided on what I'm going to do on the Rocky Mountain rankings. I haven't really decided. Probably won't decide till Sunday. That's when I usually do the video. Put it out Monday morning at 11 o'clock Mountain Time. But it'll be, I'm leaning toward maybe Iron Maiden. I might do Iron Maiden. I really wanted to wait until I got Book of Souls and their new one, Senjutsu or whatever the heck it is, that Japanese name. But we'll see. I just wanted to wait until I heard those more and actually got physical copies before I did Iron Maiden. I did a couple of ranking the albums without physical copies, like Kirithungle and Omen. I really listened the heck out of those albums, but it would have been better with physical copies. I'm an advocate for, when you discover a group, support the group by getting their stuff, even if the group's no longer around. They still get royalties, whoever survives. So, anyway, that's it for the night. Everybody have a good New Year's, good safe New Year's. If you go out party, please don't drive home if you're going to be drinking. And if you've got people or know people in the party that have been drinking and they drove there to the party, take them home. Offer to take them home. Lock their cars up for them. Give them their keys. Take them home. And then say, you need to ride back to where your car's at, I'll be there for you. But it'd be so nice on this New Year's that tomorrow morning we could all wake up and every single town, every single city on this planet, there's nobody was arrested for drink driving, wherever you're at. Nobody was killed. Nobody was hurt. Everybody wakes up tomorrow morning safe and sound, either in their bed or hotel bed or, a bed someplace. As long as it's not jail or the hospital. A nice, warm, comfortable bed where you're healthy and happy. Maybe hungover a little bit, but, as long as you're hungover and not in jail, you haven't hurt anybody, that's 2 thumbs up. So, anyway, thanks for listening, and we'll see you maybe Monday. Good night, everybody.